Hi everyone, this video today is on the spreadsheet task that you've been set for your home learning.
We're going to teach you the absolute basics, we're going to go over everything, but there's a couple of things you need to know first off. Spreadsheets are like calculators. You shouldn't be working out the answer and typing the answer in. The spreadsheet should be doing all the maths for you. You have to use formulas and functions, and you always start these with an equal sign. That is really important. The equal sign lets the computer know that the computer has to work out the answer. The spreadsheet is made up of lots of different cells. Each cell has its unique cell reference, and that is made up by the letter of the column and the number of the row. So cell C5, for example, I've highlighted on your screen, and that is its reference. When you are using formulas and functions, you always type in the cell reference rather than typing in the number. Now what this means is in the future, for example, maybe you need to change something that's in that cell, you can update it and all the formulas and all the totals will automatically be right rather than individually having to go in and change them all, which would be an absolute nightmare. As you get older, you'll probably need to use spreadsheets for work, for working out finances or tracking data. In your personal life, you might also need to use a spreadsheet for keeping track of your finances, so how much money you're earning versus how much money is going out. But in today's lesson, we're going to have a look at a spreadsheet for a mark book for a teacher.
Alright, so the first thing you should have is this spreadsheet that you can see on screen now. The first thing I'm going to do is going to give it a sensible name, so I'm going to call mine Mr. Grant Home Learning Spreadsheet. Alright, and that is your first red task complete. Alright, it's really important you give it a sensible name. The second red task is formatting the sheet using borders, fonts, etc. Alright, so you've done some of this already in the other tasks. So what I'm going to do on mine is I'm going to first put all of this into a table. Alright, so if you select it all and if you push this button here, alright, it puts lines around everything. Alright, I'm going to do the same for this section over here. So if I push this button here, push this button here, it'll do the same. You'll see though that this goes over the edge a bit, so you need to put your cursor over here, drag it across, and it fits nice and neat. The next thing I'm going to do is, so it looks a bit neater, is use the alignment tool. You've used this before. Alright, so the minute it's horizontal aligned, so we're going to center it, and then so we know it's like the top of the table, we're going to make it bold. Alright, you can also change the font, and you can make it bigger or smaller, so I'm going to make mine slightly bigger, and then I'll need to stretch these boxes out so they all fit. That looks fine. Alright, I'm going to do the same for this section over here. Make it bold, make it bigger, stretch the boxes out so it looks nice, and then I'm going to center these as well using the alignment tool. Right, the next bit on your red task is using a simple formula to add two numbers together. Alright, so we've got paper 1 mark here and paper 2 mark here. We want to add these together to get a total score. So I'm going to push the equals button, and then I'm going to click on this one, and then I'm going to push add, click on this one, and it will give you the number. So 20 plus 24 is 44, and then I'm going to drag these down, and it will add them all up for me. Alright, so you can see if you click on the box,
Okay, so the first part of the AMBER task, what we're going to need to do now is work out the percentage. Now the percentage that we're working out is the total of the two papers added together. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to add in a new cell. I'm going to call it the total. And then I'm going to add those two together. Now I'm going to use a formula to do that, just in case for whatever reason the marks on the paper changes. And then I'm going to click in the cell that I'm going to work out the percentage in, start off with an equal sign as always. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the cell with the total score, divide it by the total number of marks, and then times it by 100. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this down and use autofill to fill in the cells. Now what that's done, that's created me a problem. So what you can see here is that as I've dragged it down, it's also dragged the cells that I'm talking about down with it. So that's wrong, I'm going to get rid of that. There is a quick and easy way to stop this from happening. It's called absolute cell reference. What you do is you put a $sign before the letter, the $sign before the number, so that's the column and the row, and then if I drag it down, you can see what's happened there is everything's working right. Okay, so what absolute cell reference does is it always refers to that cell, it never moves. Right, now what I'm going to need to do is work out the averages. So I'm going to have the title of the cell as averages, and I'm going to use a function this time. So I'm going to type in equals average, open bracket, and then select all the cells that I want to work out the average for, put a close bracket, press enter. Okay, I've dragged it across. As you can see, that column at the end, there's nothing in there, so it can't work out an average, and that's what that hashtag logic error means. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to format these new cells to make them look the same as the ones Mr. Grant did for the red task. So I'm going to call the background in light red and just put a border around those. And that's it.
Okay, I'm going to now go through the green task with you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write an if statement to decide if someone has a grade 8 or not. So we're going to use this column here, the grade column, and we're going to click in this cell, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put an equals. Alright, if you write the word if, you will see this drop down appear, and we select this top one. Right, we need a logical expression to start off with. So what this means is we're going to tell the computer what cell we're comparing against and what the criteria is that we're comparing it against. So we're saying that on this bit here, for grade 8, you need 90% or more. So we're comparing this to this over here. So to start off with, we're going to write F5. All right, I'm going to go greater than or equals to 90. All right, then we need to put a comma and then a value if that is true. So what do we want the computer to output if the score is greater than 90%? So I'm going to put grade 8. Then you can see here it tells you to put another comma in. So I'm going to put a comma. Alright, and then if it's less than 90%, alright, you don't get a grade 8. So you're going to put not a grade 8. Alright, and then if you push enter, it will say not a grade 8. And just like before, alright, if you put your mouse here, you can drag this down all the way to the bottom and it will copy it. As you can see at the minute, nobody in this class has got a grade 8. Alright, so me and Miss Fletcher have made Max and Mohammed resit their test so we think they can get a grade 8. Alright, so Max has now got 38 out of 40. Alright, and that takes him to a grade 8 on his paper 1. And Mohammed has got 37 on this one, and he's definitely got a grade 8 now. Alright, so all your averages will change at the bottom, alright, and these will change. Right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a pie chart. So we're going to select this, alright, and then we're going to go insert, chart, okay, and we're going to change it to a pie chart. So you can see here that 71.4% have got a grade 8, not got a grade 8, and 28.6 have got a grade 8. So we're going to move this out of the way. Alright, you can change these, you can change the labels, you can customize it, you can change the style, you can change the colours.